And then we decided, kind of taking a leap of faith, let's start a film festival and see how many submissions we get. And honestly, Jeff, I didn't know that first year if we would have enough films to even show one day. I didn't know what kind of submissions we would get. Obviously, I didn't even know if people understood what hard faith was and wasn't.
This is the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast, helping filmmakers who share a Christian worldview stay in touch, informed, and inspired. Quiet on set. Rolling. Today's host is Jeffrey Witt.
Hey there, welcome to the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast. I'm Jeff, and I'm excited to be back with you today and to be with Spencer Folmar from Hard Faith Film Festival. We're looking forward to that coming up real soon.
Hey, Jeff, so glad to be on the show. Love Faith and Family Filmmakers. Love to be back on the podcast and can't wait to talk to you about Hard Faith Film Festival, Year 4 in Los Angeles.
Awesome. I'm going to do a quick intro to the festival. Hard Faith Fest is dedicated to showcasing films and telling stories of liberation, resilience, and the human experience. Our mission is to provide a platform for independent filmmakers, screenwriters, and artists to share their unique perspectives and connect with a diverse audience. Through the power of storytelling, we aim to inspire, educate, and provoke meaningful conversations. That is Hard Faith Film Fest. But I want to go back for a second, Spencer, because I know Hard Faith Films and your whole journey with this title, that subject, goes back, I'm guessing, before the festival started 4 years ago.
Yes, sir. Hard Faith as a company started while I was in seminary back in 2011. And it was formed at that time, November 11th, 2011. And it's been going ever since. And here we are 15 years later. It started making feature films. We have created about 5 feature films in the hard faith space. We're looking at also doing documentaries. We've done some short films. And 4.5 years ago, we started thinking about making a film festival around hard faith, because every time we released a hard faith film, we had so many filmmakers reach out whenever we would have press or whenever we would distribute the film or release it. And other filmmakers said, you know, I like what you're doing. I like the hard faith genre. We're also trying to make films in this space, or we'd like to make films in this space. And so we just had a growing list of people that have been interested and supporters of hard faith as a genre and as a, you know, in our films. And then we decided, kind of taking a leap of faith, let's start a film festival and see how many submissions we get. And honestly, Jeff, I didn't know that first year if we would have enough films to even show one day. I didn't know what kind of submissions we would get. Obviously, I didn't even know if people understood what hard faith was and wasn't. But even that first year, it was a one-day film festival on Sunset Boulevard 4 years ago, and I was really blown away by how many quality submissions we had and how passionate people were about hard faith and telling these kind of stories.
Okay, so since we're talking about it, tell us what hard faith is to you.
Yeah, you know, it really connects a lot to my personal story. I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't grow up a Christian. I converted after college, and yet I was always a filmmaker. From a very young age, I knew I always wanted to make film. But then after conversion, I realized that the purpose of my life wasn't to glorify myself, but it was to glorify God. And so my entire perspective and purpose in life changed. And so I wanted to make films now that would hopefully glorify God and bring people to know him, because it is a terrible darkness living without God in this world. And so I started watching, I never even heard of a faith-based film before conversion. And so I started watching what was known as faith-based films, 16, 17 years ago. And obviously it's changed and evolved since then, not entirely, but in a lot of ways. And whenever I watched a lot of those faith-based films, I didn't connect with the story, I didn't connect with the character, and I especially didn't connect with the environment or the reality in which they set these films, because so often I am concerned that a lot of faith films are set in a reality that is so censored or seen through such rosy colored glasses that none of us have ever experienced life on earth in such a world as it is depicted in a lot of these faith narratives. And what I wanted to do as soon as I saw these faith-based films after conversion is I wanted to make films that would reach me before conversion and also encourage people to reach out to those still suffering in darkness and those too that are just carrying a heavy load or still suffering inside the church as well. And so we wanted to tackle topics that aren't traditionally talked about from the pulpit and aren't traditionally tackled by faith-based films. And so we started Hard Faith as a way to start conversations to hopefully reach the lost. Not the 99 sheep, but that one sheep that Christ went after.
So just before we go into what we're here for, that's talking about the festival, tell us about your films. Just briefly name them and tell us what they're about.
Yeah, our mission statement since our founding has been telling stories that liberate. And we believe that the number one way that people can get free from whatever is a heavy burden to them is Christ and his gospel. And, his burden is light. It is not heavy. And so our films tackle heavy subjects. One we tackled on the opioid epidemic. It was called Shooting Heroin. Our first real theatrically released and heavily discussed and had a lot of press around it. Our first big hard faith film was called Generational Sins. It's about two brothers who returned home to reconcile with an alcoholic and abusive father. And then the most recent film that I had the pleasure of working with you on is called The Days Are Evil, which we just wrapped principal photography on. And this is the first of 3 films on the topic of suicide prevention.
Yeah, well, I did enjoy being with you there. I appreciate the opportunity to help with the sound there on the set of Days Are Evil just a couple of weeks ago.
Just a couple of weeks ago. It feels like just yesterday we were on set together.
Yeah, because you're still up to your elbows in just getting started in editing. So it's not behind you.
No, it'll be living with me for years. But it's a wonderful film, and you were a wonderful part of the crew. And we had an amazing cast and crew, and everyone really believed in what we were doing. And I think it's really going to be a powerful movie that will hopefully help a lot of people.
Yeah. And speaking of the festival, I know I'm going to see several of your cast, maybe crew, I don't know, but I know several of your cast are going to be there as speakers. So I'll definitely reconnect with them. It's coming up in June. So let's start talking about Hard Faith Fest 2026. I know you name each of your festivals, you give them a theme. What is the theme for this summer's Hard Faith Fest?
This year's theme is Do Not Fear. We named this last summer, instead of calling it year 1, year 2, year 3, we started giving them themes. And I think it's a great topic. And also, from my understanding, it's one of the most repeated commandments in all of Scripture is do not fear. I think it's a timely subject. Obviously, there's a lot of unrest and lack of peace around the world and amongst, in our own hearts. And I think that one of the greatest gifts, and this is even a line in The Days Are Evil, one of the greatest gifts that you can receive and that I think Christians don't take advantage of is the peace that surpasses all understanding. And that peace can be had at any time. And we really truly have nothing to fear. And it's just a good reminder. It's a good reminder for me. It's a good reminder for artists who are crazy enough to be in this entertainment industry. And it's especially a good reminder for hard faith artists that are so brave to tell these kind of risky and provocative stories. So we really just hope that this theme and this message that we'll be talking about each day is an encouragement to all of our artists and all the audience members attending.
Awesome. Good word.
Thank you.
So this is your 4th year. So I'm assuming there's been growth. How's that been for a 4th year festival?
Yeah, each year it's grown by 1 day in Los Angeles. So the first year is 1 day. Now we're on year 4, 4 days. And it's also just about doubled in submissions, and it's doubled in attendance, and it's probably tripled this year in speakers. And we have an amazing venue this year. Last year we were in the heart of Hollywood, and this year we're in the heart of Pasadena, California, a lovely neighborhood just a little bit north of Hollywood, still in Los Angeles County. And we are being hosted by Lake Avenue Church. It's a beautiful church, very well known, amazing facilities. We're using their chapel and many of their rooms, turning into screening rooms, and there's parking on site. And we even have hotel room bookings. and there's walkability, and it's safe, and it's clean, and this is a very lovely place to visit in Los Angeles. And we know our guests will appreciate that.
Sounds great. So obviously with all festivals, there are attendees who drive in, whether they're really local or drive a few states, but there will also be people who want to come from across the country. What airport would they choose?
The closest airport is Burbank Airport. Used to be known as Bob Hope Airport. Now they call it the Burbank Hollywood Airport. And it is a beautiful little airport. It's kind of like a regional airport. They do call themselves an international airport, but it has that local airport feel. And I love Bob Hope Airport. And then, but probably a more affordable ticket will be in the LAX, depending on where you're flying in from. But even LAX to Pasadena is a short ride or drive. So LAX or Burbank are great local airports. And Burbank is only like 15 minutes from
I guess if you got to get an Uber from LAX, it might be just as expensive if you count both ways.
Exactly. And also getting a rental car at LAX is a fun adventure. So I like flying into Burbank when I can.
Sounds good. And you mentioned accommodations. I happen to know you have that information on your website.
Yes.
So people can find suggested hotels.
Yes, the source of all knowledge and it's being updated on almost a daily basis. Is hardfaithfest.com. So you can find and this is where you should book your hotels, because if you click the images of the hotels, which is the Westin in Pasadena or the Marriott in Pasadena, if you click that link, you're part of our hotel room booking block. And my amazing event planning wife, McKenna, has negotiated a discounted fee for anyone staying with Hard Faith Fest. You won't get that if you just go to their website, but you will get a greater discount than you can get on any booking website if you go on our website and click the image of the hotel.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about the festival itself. Great location, lots of space. What does the festival look like? We've got 4 days. What does the schedule look like? And tell us more.
Yes, so it's Thursday through Sunday. Thursday is the 25th. Sunday is the 28th. Thursday is the kickoff, the first day. There's going to be screeners. There's going to be workshops. There's going to be panels. And we're also, for the first time ever, going to have musical performances. Some of our documentaries revolve around musicians, and some of our feature films also have musicians, and some of the musicians from these films are going to be performing. Then some musicians some of the musicians I personally know are going to be performing. And some local church choirs are going to perform. We're really trying to integrate worship throughout the festival, and we just love that live musical performance experience, and music and film go hand in hand. And we're going to be having musical performances throughout the entire festival, but Thursday has the most musical performances, so you don't want to miss out on the first day. Friday, again, panels, workshops, screenings. We have over 50 different films, screenplays, short films, student films, episodics, screening throughout the festival. On Friday, in addition to screenings and panels and workshops, we also have our very fun, as you know, from New York City, our Pitch Fest. This is our 4th time doing the Pitch Festival. It is a ticketed event, so what you can do is you can sign up and you can pitch your idea, and you have an allotted amount of time. You pitch to our industry veteran professionals, and they'll give you feedback on the spot, and you'll also get written feedback afterwards, and you can communicate with our judges. And then you also get a vote from our judges as well as from the audience, and there will be an award given out for the best judges pitch and the best audience pitch that will be given out on the next day, on Saturday, which is our award show. So again, musical performances, panels, speakers, screenings. And then Saturday night is our big award show. And it's going to be our biggest award show yet. We're giving out over 40 different awards, all the different categories, as well as categorical nominations for Best Actor and Best Writing and Best Producer and Best Feature and Best, pitches, plus some surprise awards that you don't want to miss out on. And the award show is going to be a lot of fun. Each night we're doing an after party that's going to be announced soon. And so look out for those announcements. Again, hardfaithfest.com is the place for announcements. And then Sunday, we're going to be worshiping at Lake Avenue Church, our beautiful, gracious host church. And after Sunday morning worship, which everyone is invited to, or you can, worship at your own tradition church nearby. Then Sunday afternoon, we're getting together and we're going to do a time of prayer and a time of send-off for all of our artists as they go back to their creative community. So hopefully they can be energized and filled with hope and lack of fear as they go off and create their own art back home.
Sounds cool. So do you want to share some highlights of your speakers?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a great speaker lineup. A lot of really fun speakers. Dave Masham from Echo Distribution, formerly known as Peak Distribution. He's going to be speaking on theatrical distribution. We have Demetrius Troy from the television show The Chosen, and he plays the role Lazarus in that show, and he's also our Pastor James in The Days Are Evil, and he's going to be doing an actor workshop, and Demetrius is amazing.
Yep.
Then we have Daniel Roebuck, who was our Santa Claus in my Christmas movie, Saint Nick of Bethlehem.
Yeah.
And Dan is going to be giving a workshop on directing actors. Then we have another fun, kind of surprise guest, Bill Farmer, who has been the official voice of Goofy for the last 35, 40 years. Anytime you hear Disney use Goofy's voice, it is Bill Farmer. And Bill played the sheriff in my film Generational Sins. So Bill is going to be giving a workshop on voiceover acting and building a career in voiceover acting and animation. Nice. Dean Batali is an amazing screenwriter, has done a lot of work in TV and film, and recently adapted or wrote a screenplay about C.S. Lewis and Tolkien meeting for the last time later in life at a pub. And that play that he wrote, which I got to see some early previews of in Hollywood, is now showing at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. Dean Batali is going to be speaking. John Rubin, who played our therapist in...
Yeah,
you remember John?
Yeah, I do.
Who plays our therapist in The Days Are Evil. John is actually a Christian rapper, hip-hop artist, and I've known John. He was the very first Christian artist I ever knew, and his lyrics are his lyrics are super profound and deep. They're very hard faith, and so him and I have had a relationship for about a decade now, and I have always found a lot of inspiration from his lyrics. But he's going to be performing as well as giving a workshop.
Cool.
We have Stevie Potter, who's our lead actress from The Days Are Evil, who's going to be giving an acting workshop. We have Karen Covell from the Hollywood Prayer Network giving a producing workshop. Jim Covell, her husband, giving a workshop on scoring film. We have Joy Villa, who is a Grammy Award-winning artist talking about making music. We have Nathan Clarkson, who was at Hard Faith Fest New York City, and I worked with on Bright Sky, who's talking about making big films for a small budget and selling them to a Christian audience.
Yep.
And then we have Mark Joseph, who I have worked with for over a decade. He was a co-producer on Generational Sins and Shooting Heroin, and a producer on The Days Are Evil and the Suicide Trilogy. Mark Joseph recently produced the biopic on Ronald Reagan featuring Dennis Quaid. And he's going to be talking about his experience of producing that film, as well as a new book he has out about that experience.
Cool.
And we also have Jeffrey Ivan Witt speaking.
That's me.
And some more surprise speakers and guests. Some are still being confirmed, but we have already over 20 confirmed speakers.
Great. And we're really excited to be partnering with you with regards to promotion. And, you'll be hearing from us both, here on the podcast and on our website and in our meetups that we do on Thursdays. If you don't know about our meetups, check our website. We get together and network and do different things every Thursday. And of course, I'll be at the festival. I'll have a table, and we'll get to say hi. And we're just really excited to be closely connected. Looking forward to it.
I love Faith and Family Filmmakers. Love you and Jacqueline. You guys do great work, and you had such a wealth of resources. I first heard about you guys at Content, and I think more people should hear about it. So I'm really thankful of this partnership, because you guys give away so much, offer so many resources, and people really should take advantage of everything you guys offer.
Well, thank you. And so I'll say at this point as well, I've really enjoyed working with you, Spencer, and of course got to work directly with you recently. And one thing I can say about Spencer may as well here, he's very authentic, but he's also, he's very encouraging to everybody, very affirming, very kind. And of course, everybody on set loved his wife, McKenna, and she did a lot of the cooking for us as well. And so I guess we met in person in December at the Hard Faith One-Day Festival in New York. And really nice people to be around. So if you have not been to a Hard Faith Festival, I know a lot of our people, our members and people that associate with us have been. I'm just going to encourage you right now, hardfaithfest.com.
Yes.
And we'll put the link in the show notes as well if you need to go back and look for it later. You can sign up there, register, find your hotels. And, you know, it's coming up really soon, but there's still plenty of time to get the best airline tickets. It's not like, you know, it's 2 weeks from now or something. Plenty of time to get your accommodations, plenty of time to plan for this. So, you know, whether you're close by or traveling from far away, lots of time. And I encourage you, it's going to be a great time for us to be all together. I'm looking forward to it, Spencer.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I'm really looking forward to this 4th year. Every year, it's a whole unique experience. Every festival always has its own personality, but it's always a really, for me, I get super encouraged. I know people who attend get encouraged, and I just think it'll be a real, I hope, Lord willing, be a real blessing to all of us. So I hope people can attend and be there with us.
Okay. Tell us that date one more time.
June 25th. Yep, June 25th through the 28th. It's 4 days, starts on a Thursday, ends on a Sunday. It's at Lake Avenue Church in Pasadena, California. The website is hardfaithfest.com. You can follow us on our socials. The handle is at Hard Faith Inc., either on Instagram or Facebook. It's the same. And do check out the website and our socials regularly because we're going to be posting so much about all the updates. And also, Jeffrey, I want to make available to anyone listening to this, I'm going to send you a discount code if you want to include it in the show notes. So if anyone that wants to buy their 4-day pass, there'll be a discount code whenever you check out on our website, hardfaithfest.com. For the 4-day pass, there'll be a 25% off discount code that our dear Jeffrey will include in the show notes that you can apply at checkout.
Awesome. So that's something you still have to create. Is that correct? You can't mention it right now?
I have it.
Oh, you have it?
I can't. Yep, I can mention it right now. Here, let me just pull it up.
Okay.
So the 25% off discount code is HFF26LA50.
Okay, so HFF26LA50.
Yes, and it's actually a 50% off, but I'm going to go with 50% off because it's the one I have. So 50% off.
Are you sure you want to do that?
25% off.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I'll do it.
Okay. Okay.
It's here on the spot. I'm going to do it. 50% off just for Faith and Family listeners.
Okay. And they're all capitals, HFF and the L?
HFF is capitalized and LA is capitalized.
Okay. HFF26LA50, and we will put it in the show notes.
Only here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure our listeners will appreciate that, and we'll certainly try and bring as many people with us as we can because we're excited about this.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. We'll see you then.
We'll see you in LA. Do not fear.
Thanks for listening to the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast. If you've been enjoying this podcast, take a moment to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast player so you don't miss an episode. And if you'd like to support the production of this podcast, you can leave a tip at faffpodcast.com/support. Bringing filmmakers together for faith and family.